Every organization is talking about AI adoption.
AI.
Artificial intelligence.
What does it really mean for us as organizations? And where do we even start? The tools are coming fast. The hype is overwhelming. But chasing every shiny object won't make us better. The real question is, how do we harness this momentum to improve our services, deliver real value, and move forward toward our mission? So today I want to talk about the 5 essentials of AI adoption, that I believe anyway, are going to be crucial in ensuring that you can genuinely unlock value and march a sensible course forward. And that takes your team and your users and your leaders as well on that journey. My name is Jeffrey Gazy. I'm a comms and engagement lead by background, and I help organizations kind of plot their path in this new landscape of AI. If you'd like to have a chat, you can just contact me via the link below. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so essential number 1, and this is almost a reframe that you now need to embrace. Your pain is your gain. And what I mean by that is that your pain points, your friction, the things that have historically been bugbears within your organization, I almost want you to see them as your compass, as the problems that are absolutely prime for being solved with AI solutions, or at least kind of AI automation of some kind. I'm seeing a lot around kind of project scoping when it comes to AI, which essentially means, where do we start? What do we do? And so the best way to think about where to start with AI is to almost stop thinking of AI for a second and just think about what's your core mission, what are your core services, and the things that you ultimately are trying to deliver, and what have been the barriers and the challenges in delivering that. Map your customer journey, map your staff journey, use staff survey data. I think where have been the historic pain points around where our systems are failing us, or at least falling short. And these are going to be the areas and issues which, if you can drive improvements, people are going to really kind of take to. Things like siloed working and the difficulty in kind of finding information, or the scatteredness of information across the organization, the inaccessibility of data. These sorts of things are absolutely primed for being solved with good AI solutions that can allow people to self-service information, data in a way that feels really intuitive and quick. But I think your time and attention will be better spent here rather than pursuing something speculative or that feels industry relevant that isn't actually meeting an urgent need in your organization. The second essential, and it's kind of an extension of point 1, but it's just to remember that AI is a means and not an end in itself. The role of AI, much like any other tool in your organization, is to help the fulfillment of services and ultimately whatever your end mission is. And so if you're measuring AI adoption and its success by saying in 2 years' time, everyone in the organization should be using Microsoft Copilot for at least an hour a day, tool usage is not a measure of efficacy. If you do this, you'll start to find that you're driving the wrong behaviors where people aren't using these systems and tools to unlock value and drive better service, but they're using it because they're supposed to be using it. Any predicted productivity gains you're expecting or hoping for will just go out the window. And so the takeaway here is that in your inevitable, change strategy around AI adoption, it's really important to hang it onto the overarching KPIs for your business. Essential number 3 is to embrace pilots. I think this is going to be such a powerful way of avoiding analysis paralysis. Seeing successes in your own local environment delivered by your team, firstly, it will unlock a lot of internal confidence in your ability as an organization to kind of go on this journey and to really hold the reins. And also, if you think about it, a successful pilot with a well-told story can have as wide an impact and create anticipation as something rolled out at full scale anyway. You can still tell the same powerful story from a small pilot and still get really powerful data. Pilots also give you the room to try for things not to work. There are going to be some ideas that you have and you think, this is actually going to be a massive value unlock if we try this. And then maybe you implement something and the reality doesn't match the concept. And the last thing I'd say about a pilot is that it relieves you of the pressure to have to deliver an end state version of a thing. You can build skeletal models that actually work really quickly in this space, and rolling out quick pilots based on well-considered and genuine problems I think can be really powerful. Okay, essential number 4 is really about how do you get buy-in internally? This is something I think about with my background in comms and engagement. And I've seen lots of ways that leaders and organizations have tried to cajole their people on this journey of AI. I'll keep it really simple. Your path to success here is going to be low friction, high impact. And what I mean by this is that really the early experiences of AI in your organization for your people shouldn't necessarily having to be thrown into figuring out how this works or what do I need to do or what's it going to mean for my role. But really it's going to be under the hood AI tools, which I'll come to discuss in a second, that take problems that they themselves have recognized as challenges in the past that now feel easier. And the means to using those tools should feel quite effortless. It shouldn't be having to kind of take 17 steps. I think it ties back into point number 1. It's going to be tools that your team can use, that they don't need to understand the back end of how it works, that the organization does the work and presents staff with ready to use tools that unlocks the value of AI. And I think a really obvious and powerful way to start here is with RAG. Now, RAG is a technical term. What it essentially means in a nutshell is if given that one of the biggest pain points in organizations is the silo of information, the scatteredness of where information sits. We know it's there, but it's just the time it takes to constantly retrieve it. The same applied to data. We can have access in seconds in a self-service style. If you can unlock the massive pain point of just access to unstructured information and unstructured data so that your leaders, your managers and your teams can interact with it in a way that feels organic, intuitive, that is going to be a massive benefit. And if you can embed this well, you'll be further ahead than others that are trying to create all sorts of complexities without really understanding the value. This will build trust, it will build confidence, and it will set you up to begin to unlock greater opportunities with AI in the future. Okay, and essential number 5 is treating innovation and governance as separate but connected streams. Let me unpack that. Especially in larger organizations and in public sector, the considerations around governance, risk, compliance, and safety are absolutely critical when it comes to this journey of AI. And you absolutely want to begin that from the offset. At the same time, innovation needs to have space to think out loud. Wouldn't it be amazing if? How do we do this? How quickly can we achieve this? And it kind of needs to have the space to think and plot and plan those opportunities without immediately being hamstrung with, we can't do this because of this. The analogy I would give is like driving a car. What's more important, acceleration or braking? Well, the reality is without either, you're not going anywhere safely, but you can't do both at the same time. And same for governance, where sometimes they don't want to come across as dampening progress, so they don't say things, but both need to be able to kind of consider all that is in their purview and come together at regular enough opportunities to think, okay, how do we align these two worlds? It is absolutely possible to plot a path forward that is safe, that is considered, that has a strong framework, but is progressing. So we're going to wrap it up there, but hopefully that helps you navigate a path through some of the barriers you're facing at the moment. In the coming weeks, we're going to unpack a lot of this in more detail and really just kind of work through what this looks like in detail and practice. But hopefully you're already starting to feel a little bit lighter and freer in your thinking around AI adoption. If you'd like to discuss anything further, don't hesitate to get in touch. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.